Hello and welcome to Voice of the Fat Mantis. You're watching my review of Episode 3 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Marvel has given us another amazing, fun thrill ride. However, not the best episode thus far. One of the best things about it is watching Bucky and Sam interact. It's a great time, and they continue to push it forward, and I'm loving every minute of every scene they get to have banter or whatever is an amazing thing. This episode also brought forward the return of Daniel Bru's Baron Zemo, which is not a spoiler, you knew it was coming, and Sharon Carter, aka Agent 13. And it was great to see them, and it was great all these references back to the actual MCU proper. It was achieving things that WandaVision seems to not be able to achieve, which is making you feel like it is in the MCU firmly. However, the episode favored a lot of espionage tropes, and I'm not talking about the way the Winter Soldier did it. They did it nuanced and intelligently. They used espionage tropes in this episode, which is akin to the worst episodes of Alias, which were just kind of zany, over the top, rushed, and unrealistic, which ultimately made me not love the episode. I'm going to ultimately give this episode an 81 out of 100. Now I'm getting into spoiler turf, so this is your warning. If you don't like spoilers, get the hell out of here. So the episode starts off with the GRC's commercial. That is the Global Repatriation Council. Yes, I cannot pronounce that word. Originally, I thought it was Reparations Council, but it's a harder to pronounce word. And their job is to return people who were displaced from the blip. That's right. You're missing for 5 years, you return. It is very possible that your one-bedroom apartment on the Upper West Side has been rented out. Where do you go? What do you do? These are the guys who help you. And it's very important that they put the commercial in, because let's face it, we all have a feeling that these guys are a bunch of evil doers. Next, we cut to Captain America, the new one, John Walker, doing a Germany raid where he's disrespected by the people he's interrogated, hated, and he's hitting walls. He is behind both our main heroes in the espionage game and our villains, and he seems to be a guy who doesn't like that. He seems to be cracking under the pressure, and as I've said before, I believe this is going to lead him to take the Super Soldier Serum when he gets a chance, just to put it on an even playing field. But can't wait to see where this fool winds up next. Next, we're going to get into the Baron Zemo stuff, which ended up alienating me immensely. Now, they do the Hannibal Lecter style prison talks, which I thought was going to carry on for a while, but that was less than 5 minutes. And then what comes after is the quickest prison break you've ever seen in your life. Honestly, getting lunch at McDonald's would take longer than this prison break. Daniel Bruhl, aka Baron Zemo, is the world's most famous criminal, and yet he's able to just put on security outfit and walk right out the door. I think it would have been much better if they had turned that into one entire episode of its own, both the Hannibal Lecter interview and the breakout. And at the end of that episode, he joins the crew. But whatever, it was a missed opportunity. It was rushed, and I did not care for it. Next, we have a kind of a retcon. They made him an actual Baron, an actual filthy rich, like he's Bruce Wayne rich, which is strange on multiple levels, that his funds wouldn't have been frozen from being an international terrorist. And it's like his butler's just been waiting for him to break out of jail or something like that. Not only that, in Captain America Civil War, the flashbacks we see of him and his family, they live in a humble home. They look like they're middle class. And not only that, his occupation was a special forces member of the Sokovian military. Now, rich people are members of the military, don't get me wrong. Some of them are very competent members of the military. However, they tend to be office monkeys, and it's very rare that they're out in the field, let alone special forces. Special forces is one of the most dirty jobs you can do in the military. You're out there for months, possibly years, living in crap, using nothing but your ingenuity and your skills to survive and living behind enemy territory. It seems unlikely that a filthy rich baron would have that as his career. I don't know why they did this retcon, because after all, the things that it allowed him to do, they could have easily done using the excuse of military connections that Sam has. So I don't know why they did that, but it happened. So next, we're going to be moving on to Carly Morgenthau and her GRC. So she's hanging out in a GRC refugee camp, and she goes and she visits possibly her mother, her aunt, the old woman she used to help back in her church days. Who knows? But an old woman she really cares for who dies in an illness she got in one of these redistribution camps. It's a sad point that tries to make you think that there's a human heart behind her. Now, as we are in spoiler turf, so I'm just going to say it. At the end of the episode, it is reversed when Carly ends up blowing up a building with a lot of innocent government workers in it, being a true bloodthirsty terrorist. Both executions were, once again, cliche. Didn't really do much for me. Now, here were the Madripoor scenes, and once again, the espionage was just sloppy in this. For instance, they dress Sam up in this ridiculous outfit, and he's supposed to be a guy known as, I believe, the Smiling Tiger, and he goes there, and it's all based on the premise that all black guys look alike. Just because he looks like this other guy, everyone at the bar assumes he's him, which is a weird coincidence that he looks exactly like some other guy. They could have explained this, that Baron Zemo is a master of disguise, as we saw in Marvel Civil War, and he should have been able to use those kind of like Mission Impossible disguise tactics on Sam. That might have been more fun and more espionage-like, but whatever. It goes on there, and they have a very cliche meeting with an evil woman, and she's the head of some crime organization, and she demands that Sam answer his phone in front of him. And because his sister on the phone calls him Sam, she then decides to murder everyone she's working with. As if criminals don't have sisters, or eat cereal, or have family that give them nicknames. Also, she knew Smiling Tiger so well that she knew him by a first name basis. How would she not notice that this isn't the Smiling Tiger? It was filled with holes and not very sophisticated.
Now, this is an interesting part of the episode. Sharon Carter comes and helps him out.
When we see Sharon Carter, she spent the last 5 years on the run against our government, has become a jaded member of whatever criminal organization, is using her spy skills to be an organized criminal, as we know a lot of spies do when they're out of the spy racket. It was interesting to see. It was great to see Sharon back in there, Emily Van Camp playing her as a return, and that was pretty awesome. They end up having some action sequences and ultimately killing the super soldier serum scientist, but they're understanding that there are 8 vials used up for the members of the Flag Smashers, and there's 12 vials up for grab.
Now, so we're going to enter the theory crafting
section of this review. I believe that both Battlestar and Captain America John Walker, later on known as the U.S. agent, will be taking them, whether they steal them or somehow, but I believe that they are candidates. But who else is a candidate? That's 12 super soldiers. It's possible that Zemo will be doing it. After all, Zemo is enhanced in the comic books, and although he is the spy master and a military savant, a skill set type villain, he does have enhanced abilities in the comics. So he could be doing it, even though this version of him hates all superhumans. Next, another possibility is Falcon. Is it possible that the Falcon is going to enhance himself? Once again, for a short time, the Falcon was enhanced in the comics so that he could live up to par to the Captain America shield and abilities. Will he ultimately be taking it? This is interesting, and I can't wait to find out. Next, I'm going to get into Bucky, and Bucky's jadedness at the end of the episode. He gets into a slight minor argument with Sam about patriotism and the shield and how important the shield is, and that maybe that the unworthy people are having the shield. And he suggests that if he had the shield, he'd be making all the right calls and being a great Captain America. This is foreshadowing a possibility that Bucky might go rogue, steal the shield, and he might end up becoming the dark Captain America that we've seen in the comics before. And remember, he becomes misguided and he gives up the attempt to become a hero. He's like almost like a mix of the Punisher and Captain America. It's very wonderful story arc in the comics. I wonder if they're headed down that route. Final theory I want to get into is Sharon Carter. Now, Sharon Carter seems to be a jaded hater of America and the ways of the government. However, I do not believe this for one friggin' minute. In the comic books, Sharon Carter, Agent 13, is constantly in deep cover. She's been in deep cover in Hydra, deep cover in the Secret Empire, and deep cover in AIM. There is no way she is actually a criminal. Some people think she's a power broker. It seems more like she's working for the power broker. She's like a high up member of the power brokers organization. However, I do not think she actually is. I think that she's secretly a government agent, basically a double agent, who still serves the United States. She is firmly a hero in the comic books, and I doubt they would ever make her a villain. So there you go, guys. Ultimately an 81. What did you think of this episode? I, for one, am super excited for more episodes to come. I'm really hoping that next episode is more like episode 2 and not episode 3. What did you guys think about it? And also, let me know down in the comments, who do you think is going to ultimately get the Super Soldier Serum? Remember, we've got 12 doses up for grabs. Please let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you thought of the episode. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Remember to keep tuning in to Voice of the Fat Mantis for more Falcon and the Winter Soldier reviews, MCU analysis, and also shenanigans. Until next time, ciao for now.